Due Process, awarded the 2005 New York Emmy for Societal Concerns Programming.
What is her message? Why did she write this story?
Inside New Jersey State Prison for Women. A writing workshop putting inmates in touch with their voices and their lives.
Whether to do something, whether not to do it, how to do it, when to do it.
Women in prison. Is rehabilitation for real? That's next on this edition of Due Process.
Major funding for Due Process provided by the New Jersey State Bar Foundation, committed to educating the public about the law, and by the Fund for New Jersey, a private foundation focusing on New Jersey public policy issues. Additional funding provided by Lawyer's Diary and Manual and online legal reference, elaw.com.
There are 23,000 inmates in New Jersey prisons, and the vast majority of them, 95%, are men. But what about the other 5%? What about the nearly 1,200 women? Is prison just a place where they're warehoused till their sentence is done, or is there a chance inside for rehabilitation? I'm Raymond Brown, and I'll put that question to an inmate rights advocate, to a College of New Jersey professor who works with women prisoners, and to the state's Commissioner of Corrections. But first, as always, here's Sandy King.
Raymond, unlike those tens of thousands of male prisoners behind bars and institutions from Essex to Cumberland, almost all of New Jersey's women inmates are held in a single place. It's the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility in Hunterdon County, where more than 1,100 women are serving terms from 18 months to life. Several hundred of them are working on a GED, several hundred more in some kind of vocational training. But a handful of them are doing something very different. As we see in the video Freedom Road by College of New Jersey professor Lorna Johnson, these women are learning to read in a new way and to write their own stories, with some help from outside.
I first started working with the women inmate population in 1998. I realized I wanted to go back into the prison and do work with women inmates. I decided to take my college students with me. I take my students into the maximum security compound of the prison once a week. We start by reading women's autobiographies across the ages, and then the women inmates develop the courage to write their own life stories.
And then she went on and told us how we were going to be studying women's biographies, and ultimately we were going to be encouraged to find a strength to write our own story. And that's something that I always wanted to do, but for some reason or another I never got around to doing it. Fear. Probably fear.
The writing workshop has been underway for 4 years. It's called Woman is the Word, and the idea is clear that through words, the women can learn more about who they are and where they fit. If they can understand the pressures and choices that brought them to prison, just maybe they can find their way to a different kind of life. The workshop founder is a College of New Jersey English teacher, Michelle Tarter.
Education is the one thing that has been proven statistically to reduce recidivism, so that if we do help these people and we take responsibility for some of the reasons they are in prison, socioeconomic status, underprivileged positions, we can get in there and help affect change.
If you don't do anything for the person you lock up, that person will come back out with the same problems they went in with. They got them there.
I've grown academically, spiritually I've grown, I've had time to reflect my life. I see where I made my mistakes, and I see where I will never make the same ones again. I've learned from this experience. I push myself now. When I push myself, I'm not saying I'm pushing myself to hurt myself. I'm pushing myself to make myself better. And making myself better, I'm a better person. I'm able to help others. I'm able to think for myself.
And learning to think for yourself in a new and better way is what the workshop's all about. But as Lorna Johnson's documentary shows, it isn't only the inmates who find themselves growing and learning.
I think I learned most about my privilege and about how lucky I am to have a family that supports everything I do and to be in college. Just that I'm so lucky to have everything that I have given to me and the opportunities that I have now and coming up in the future. It was a humbling experience. Just really lucky to have all that.
I think the public is really ready to write these people off. And we can't afford to do that. We can't keep incarcerating people. I'm part of this system that has said, let's put so many people away. Let's write them off. Now we feel safe. Now we don't have to think about it. And I don't think the answer is to make these people disappear.
And not only will they not disappear, but most will at some point be released. They'll need to find their way outside the prison walls, need to find out what it is to be law-abiding and free.
The question, what is freedom, comes up all the time. And freedom becomes for them a state of mind, a state of being, and they can create their safe space wherever they are if they have the tools to do so.
I would like to share with them how I got here and my tools and my remedies I use to survive and make it through this without turning it into a nightmare.
That steel bed has become a very safe haven for all my dreams and desires. It's become the backbone of my voice. It's here where I write with my feet propped up on my locker, and I take every breath of life in, and I know that what I'm dreaming will become real.
The prisoners shared with me that they named the road that comes into the prison Freedom Road.
Freedom Road is what brought me here, and Freedom Road will be what takes me out.
I'm here, like I think I mentioned before, I'm here and my body is restrained. I can't move but so far. And then they want to pull my body back. But my mind is, it's like the sky. It's open. I can reach the sky with my mind. I can just think. It's wonderful.
Please, you could be locked up physically in a body form all day long. But as long as you don't allow this to be locked up, you'll never be locked up.
An administrator from the prison told us that the program is in demand and that it has cut down on recidivism for workshop participants. A surprising report when you consider that each session lasts for only 10 weeks. But for some, it's just one part of the process. The institution also offers college credit classes, 1 per semester. This semester, 35 are enrolled, and Raymond, the class they are taking this semester appropriately, psychology.
And when we come back, we'll be talking about women in prison, how they get there, what happens when they're in there, and what the chances are that they won't be sent back.
obviously they're in prison for a reason. We want to prevent the revolving door because they go in, they come out, do the same thing, and go back. They haven't learned any different behavior.
There's enough resources. There's the library, computers. Yeah, there's enough sources in prison for someone to be rehabilitated.
Maybe someone stole because their children are really hungry and they really can't feed them. But then you have those that just do it for fun and do it for a thrill. And those I don't think can be rehabilitated.
If a man stole something and a woman stole something, they should get the same punishment, and yet whatever they decide, the way to rehabilitate them, then it should be the same.
There's different job opportunities for women out in the real world than men. Why not take advantage of that?
I think if they have the right schemes in place, then there is a possibility that they can come out better people than when they went in. Well, I would hope so anyway.
Is there a difference in the way we treat men and women inmates? Should there be? What crimes did they commit? And are they doomed to repeat them? For some answers, we turn to College of New Jersey professor Michelle Tarter, whose writing workshop was featured in the tape piece, to Devon Brown, New Jersey Commissioner of Corrections, and in Newark, to Wendy Letterman, an inmate advocate and rehabilitation specialist with the private, nonprofit New Jersey Association on Correction. Welcome to all of you. Michelle, let me start with you. I was taking some notes during the parts of Lorna's documentary that we ran, and the inmates involved talked about overcoming fear, filling gaps in education, developing spiritual growth, cultivating independent thought, and one of your students talked about overcoming social deficits that are part of the reason, if not all the reason, many of the women are there. Which leads to the question, that's a lot to accomplish in 10 weeks.
Oh, it is. And I'm not saying that we do accomplish all of those things, but as each woman starts to write her story, she grapples with her own issues, her own past. And I never know what's going to come from that, but the class is a safe space where they can write about it and then share in the group. And amazing things happen.
What convinces you, aside from your belief that it's a good program and a good way to spend time with these women, that it has a lasting positive effect on their lives?
Yes, that's a great question. I'm a firm believer, I teach writing and literature, and I'm a firm believer that writing is a very healing act. When one goes into writing, it's a challenging process, and it's alchemical, if you will. There's true transformation as we go deeper and deeper inside. And oftentimes, the inmates don't even realize the issues they're facing until they begin writing them down. There may be things that they couldn't speak, but they can write them. And then once they see them on paper and see perhaps what used to be perceived as isolated incidents, they look at them and it's a continuum, it's a story, it's their life coming together, and they might see patterns. And once they see them, I believe change can start to happen. So it is a long-term effect, and I'm not there after those 10 weeks, but they do write letters, and they do continue writing. They've let me know that.
Wendy, let me ask you to help put this in perspective. Let's assume that Michelle Tarter is accurate and on the money about the profound effect this can happen on the women who go through the program for those 10 weeks in the areas that she's described. In the larger context of preparing these women to be reintegrated as mothers, as money earners, as members of society, is this part of a larger picture that helps the 1,200 women at this facility get reintegrated effectively into society?
Yes, the women have to deal with their feelings and what's really going on within them. And once they deal with those issues, then they can move forward.
But let me ask you this, in the broader picture, we have, for example, a recidivism rate that seems to be more than half. That is, more than half of the women who come out of this facility go back again. It seems to me that probably no one would say that's a resounding success or that we don't want more. Assuming that Michelle Tarter is accurate about what she believes this program can do, what more is needed, if anything, to make this a success?
Well, first of all, the women have to want to change. That is the first thing that they have to do. And after that, it has to be a continuum. There has to be a continuum of rehabilitation. It can't just stop when they leave prison.
But this is one program, and I guess the question, let me come to you, Devon, because in a sense, you're the person with whom the buck stops. If there's a recidivism rate of more than 50%, I'm assuming that's not satisfactory to you or to anybody else.
It is not.
Okay. The question is, even given the apparent success of this program, presumably there's more that's required in order to bring that rate down.
Absolutely.
What are we lacking? What is not being done in order to make a difference in the lives of these women so they don't go back?
Well, I think if we had greater resources devoted to rehabilitation, or in the case of this population and others, habilitation.
What does that mean?
Well, one can say that the concept and term rehabilitation is a misnomer for many of those that are incarcerated.
So in some sense, some of these women never had a chance.
They never had the chance, or they never developed the skills that are necessary for constructive societal adjustment. I'm with an English professor, and she well knows that whenever we see the prefix RE in front of a word, it suggests that it's a return.
But that suggests that the deficit you're trying to supply in human terms is even deeper. So has the Department of Corrections said to the governor and to the legislature, we can't begin to make the kind of difference we want to make without more resources?
Every opportunity I get. That is the message.
What's the response?
Well, we have had greater funds devoted towards rehabilitation or habilitation, but a lot of this goes beyond having the funds. It's being creative, it's being innovative, which we've been. The overwhelming majority of our educational pursuits don't involve classroom teachers.
But one of the issues here is that there's been an expansion of the growth in the female population of our institutions because of the war on drugs, and because we changed our sentencing code more than 25 years ago to focus less on rehabilitation and more on punishment. Forget the philosophy of it. If these women are coming back and trying to be mothers or trying to be constructive members of society, A, we want it to work because we don't want them coming back, and we don't want society to pay other costs. Are we sufficiently committed to developing the resources so that you have more programs, so it's not a 10-week program, so it's a 6-month program, so that you can have more people in it, and so you can do other things or not as a society?
The approach of this nation and of this state thus far has been one of retribution. It is changing. I'm very pleased to say that there are enlightened leaders who understand the merits of which you speak. And they understand that this is not just about helping the inmate, it's helping ourselves. It's a matter of public safety. If we provide these individuals with the tools they need to make constructive adjustment in society, then in a very real sense, we're reducing the likelihood of victimization.
I want to come back to the issue of leadership, but Wendy, it seems to me, given the large role that drug abuse plays in the recidivism rate, the rate at which women go back, and your expertise, are we looking as a state at the right policy question, which is how to get the resources so that these women are able to move away from drug dependency, which compounds the other kind of problems that Michelle's trying to address?
Through different programs within the prison, other programs like halfway houses, they are able to address certain issues to decrease the chances of recidivism.
But are we doing enough? I mean, if we've got more than a 50% return rate and at least half of those are women involved with drugs, that would suggest much more is required.
Yes.
Okay. Michelle, let me ask you this. If there were more resources, if the spigot that Devon suggests is being opening really does open, is it possible to take programs like yours and expand the amount of time individual women stay in it and the number of women who do it, as well as the number of instructors and students who work with them?
I would love to see that. I think it would be such a gift to everyone. Everyone benefits in that picture, and the women are hungry for learning and growing. I've seen this firsthand. And I think that expanding programs like this would be wonderful.
All right, well, let me ask you a question now about how women get in the program and how that might affect your prediction.
Okay.
These are women who have taken the step to want to be in the program.
Yes, they have
that
to sign
suggests
up.
a level of awareness already
Yes.
that maybe even touches on Devon's habilitation versus rehabilitation.
Okay.
As you expand the program, you're now going to be reaching to women who haven't taken the step and said, gee, I need to do this. Mm-hmm. Is that going to affect how effective you can be in working with people who may still be in denial or in such pain that they can't get to the next level?
Right. I'm thinking about what Wendy said, that they really have to want to start a sense of recovery and healing. But the word is out at Edna Mann. The waiting list is about 180 right now. I mean, they really want in. And I just can't do enough classes, but I would love to be able to do more. And I have a feeling that it would be contagious and that more and more might want to be part of the program.
Wendy, all the way from Trenton to Newark, I could see you nodding as Michelle was talking. What did you want to add?
I was just agreeing with her. I think that she's right on point with what she was saying.
All right, let's assume that you can open the spigot. Is the legislature in its next session, in your view, or the governor in terms of his relationship with the legislature, prepared to significantly expand the resources available to expand this program, to do more drug rehab, to try to reduce that 50% figure down, or is it not politically palatable? I must say, as a person who lives in New Jersey, I don't hear a lot of public officials walking around at election time or at any other time saying, let's allocate more money, even specifically for something like women in prison, or even specifically for a program like Michelle.
Well, we're very fortunate to have an acting governor who recognizes the need for more resources to be directed towards the treatment of the mentally ill. Over 50% of the female population fall in that category.
When you say mentally ill, what do you mean? Because
I mean a diagnosable mental illness, most notably depression.
Okay. Is that different than for men?
Absolutely. Men have a mental illness rate of about 14%. Okay. That's compared to 50%.
Well, this raises another issue, which is delicate, but I think we ought to put it on the table even as we're winding down. Is there a profound difference in the way one should approach dealing with women who are in prison? That is, are they so different in terms of their experience and their potential that it's different qualitatively and quantitatively than how we approach men?
I think absolutely.
What's the principal difference?
The principal difference is motherhood and the challenges that brings to bear. The men have their uniquenesses, but none of them compare to that women experience.
Now, when you say motherhood, that means we know they have more responsibilities when they get out, or you mean that motherhood changes a person's incentive to want to try to change and grow? And
I think in both categories. I spoke in terms of depression. You have women, over 70% of whom are mothers. They're separated from their children, and the trauma that creates for them is very pronounced. And that's something that has to be recognized and is being recognized in programs such as this.
Let me ask Wendy whether in the context of drug therapy and drug rehab, treatment of women is different in a significant way from treatment of men.
Yes, tremendously. Women have come across with a lot more issues, and a lot different issues than men do.
And Michelle, does that suggest to you more potential opportunities for making a difference in their lives?
Oh, certainly, and not just the women's lives, but the next generation of children who, you know, are being raised by either the women's parents or a relative or foster care. I mean, we have to think of that next generation as well.
Absolutely.
I was speaking to Devon about that.
Okay, Devon, if you could do one thing tomorrow, a significant thing in terms of changing the outlook and the way we approach women in prison, what would it be?
I would enhance the programming that's available to them.
More kinds of programming, or more of the kind of a program like the one that Michelle's been running?
Both, but the programming that truly addresses the uniquenesses of the female who is incarcerated.
Michelle, if you had the same power,
I would create more programs and also more educational programs and more college courses available to them as well.
Wendy, you get the same wish. One thing to change the outlook for women.
I would increase treatment before they leave prison and make the transition easier for them when they do leave prison.
It sounds like these are issues that we can revisit again, so maybe you'll all come back. In the meantime, with thanks to Devon Brown, Michelle Tarter, and Wendy Letterman, that's it for this edition of Due Process. But before we go, some good news for Due Process and NJN. We just picked up our 7th Emmy Award, the New York Emmy, for Best Societal Issues Series. Still another reason to join us next week, when we'll be back with another issue of justice and law. Till then, for Sandy King and all of us here, I'm Raymond Brown. Thanks for watching.
She write this story? She pointed out to me it's all about choices. and everything in your freedom of whatever is your choice. Whether to do something, whether not to do it, how to do it, when to do it, whether to be quiet or speak about it, to share it or keep it to yourself. It's all about choice, everything. And it's how you value your choices and how you look at your choices. And so freedom is a lot more than being inside or outside of a jailhouse.
And in here she tells me that knowledge is power.
Major funding for due process provided by the New Jersey State Bar Foundation, committed to educating the public about the law, and by the Fund for New Jersey, a private foundation focusing on New Jersey public policy issues. Additional funding provided by Lawyer's Diary and Manual and online legal reference, elaw.com.